man can be himself only so long as he is alone, and if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is really free.
I'm officially living alone in this tiny studio in London.
Welcome to the Living Alone Diaries.
It's been 6 months of me living alone, and moving out was the best thing I could have done for myself.
Remaining active and avoiding social isolation had a huge impact on their desire to want to continue living. Hey guys, how you doing this week? You good? I hope you're good. I've been alright this week. It's been sunny, so when the sun's out, I always feel good, so I've got nothing to complain about. Now, if you're a subscriber, you may be aware of my current journey where I'm looking for a new place to live. And I'm not just talking about a house or a home. I'm currently on the hunt for a new country. I currently live in London and I haven't been feeling it for a good few years now. So I've been on the hunt and I've got different vlogs on my channel where I've been going to different countries to scope them out to see if they're places that I want to live. And if I'm being totally transparent, whilst the journey has been exciting and I've learned a lot about myself and other communities and, you know, different countries, things I didn't know, if I'm being totally honest, some parts of the journey, the other side of the journey has been lonely. I'm traveling as a solo female traveler. There are times when it's scary, there's times when it's frustrating, and it would be nice to have somebody to share that experience with. Now, I don't know if it's because of my own journey why my YouTube and TikTok algorithm is now showing me an abundance of living alone diaries. I find myself watching at least one, like once every 2 to 3 days, because I feel like those are my people, that's my tribe. But what I want to do today is explore the influx of this type of content and what does it actually say and reflect about modern day society and how we view independence versus community. From cozy studio apartments to sleek city lofts, young people, well to be honest, all people, are now showcasing their independent lifestyle more than any other time before. The quest for independence is deeply intertwined into the values of Gen Zers and millennials in particular. We were raised in a time where we were taught to self-express ourselves and to have independence and to try new things. You get to decorate how you want, you get to be as free as you want in your own space. So to be honest with you, the rise in the numbers of people living alone within those generations isn't really surprising. And even though we're in a downturn economically at the moment, we do actually currently earn more than our predecessors. So now, young people and women, single women, have the opportunity to do things that our older and previous generational counterparts were not able to do at the same age. According to the Census Bureau, single person households constituted to 28.9% of all US households in 2022, a notable rise from 13% in 1962. The analysis further revealed that in 2021, 16% of US adults lived alone, with a slight majority being women at 51.9%. And in the UK, as of 2023, approximately 8.38 million people lived alone in the United Kingdom, an increase of around 34,000 when compared to the previous year when it was around 8.35 million. Now, Japan is said to have one of the highest numbers for people living alone and single. In 2020, which you know was the year of the panini. Do we still have to say that? Can we say pandemic now? Come on YouTube, get it together. So in 2020, the number of one-person households in Japan reached over 12.15 million, accounting for almost 38% of the overall population. In Sweden in 2020, a whopping 50% of the overall population lived in single households. And this one has something to do with the Swedish culture of marriage. Marriage isn't heavily pushed in Sweden as far as I'm aware. And there's a lot of people having families but living separately. Because culturally it's very different there. So this might have a huge impact on those numbers. So with these sorts of stats, and they're global stats, it's no wonder that we've had an influx of content showcasing people living alone and living their best lives being single. And with many of us choosing to focus on saving ourselves by building our own wealth, looking after our mental health, and delaying starting our family due to the fact that we want to be more secure and find suitable partners, like many things on social media, living alone has become a piece of aspirational content. Let's not forget that living alone is still a privilege. Whilst millennials and Gen Zers are earning more on average than our parents and grandparents, I don't have to tell you that the cost of living is ridiculous, stupid. With the rents and mortgages through the roof, I can tell you in the UK, stupid. Many people still live at home with families or they rent spaces with with friends or housemates. So much of these living alone diaries are great to watch because you can live vicariously through those people. I do tend to find, and maybe it's just my algorithm based on what I see, but there seems to be an archetype of the people that do a lot of these living alone diaries. Obviously, my algorithm's going to show me the women, so I don't know, I get a vibe, it's a lot of Sex and the City vibes, women, you know, the people live alone, their apartments are usually in high rises, living in big cities, the women look great, they always have a great kitchen. That's what I noticed, the kitchen's always beautiful and marble countertops, someone's always there like watching the kitchen. And if we're being honest, social media and TV, traditional media, has played a huge impact in amplifying solo living lifestyle. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram and YouTube are filled with creators offering tips on home decor, cleaning, building a tiny house, solo traveling, a lot of things that are singular and push this independent lifestyle. However, unlike other trends that I see on social media, if we dig a little bit deeper into this trend in particular, I do feel like there's a wider story about the sociological implications of loneliness. Whilst we obviously value our space, our independence and our peace, at the end of the day we're human, and even the most introverted of us crave community every now and again. This portion of the video is sponsored by, well, me, Always Daydreaming. If there's one thing that's been instrumental in helping my mental health and personal growth, it's been journaling. Just taking 10 to 15 minutes a day to put myself first, to center my thoughts, to calm down my mind, to think about what I'm grateful for. And whilst journaling is an extremely personal act, it can sometimes be hard to keep up with the routine of writing down your thoughts daily, or at least every other day. Alongside that, it can also be nice to connect with others who are on their own personal journey of self-development, self-healing and growth. So with all that being said, I wanted to create a free journaling club for everybody who is on their own personal development journey and needs a group where they can feel safe but also be held accountable to make sure that we are all turning our visions into fruition. So if you are in a space of creating the life of your dreams, looking to show more gratitude and want to meet other people who are on that same personal journey, please head over to alwaysdaydreaming.org and sign up to be a part of our free journaling club. We'll also be launching our store of unique journal designs featuring crystal encrusted journals to give you something pretty to use when you're writing up your dreams and manifestations. The club and the membership will officially open on the 5th of July. So again, head over to alwaysdaydreaming.org to learn more about our journal club and to check out some of our pieces. Thanks, back to the video. Now, I'm not sure about your community, but as the granddaughter of Jamaican immigrant parents, the concept of family and community was huge. We would often have different family members staying with us for different periods of time, or on the weekends we would have family members coming over for food and good times, or we would be at my grandma's. I actually remember being surrounded by people quite regularly, and as my mum was a single parent, it was actually great to like be around cousins and aunts and uncles rather than it just being her and I. So yeah, growing up and being surrounded by a lot of people, I'm actually someone who does love my own space and peace. So in my adulthood, I do see the benefits of living alone. It's like, yes, I can do my own thing, have my own space, decorate it how I want. What I think has happened in society, especially those of us who come from immigrant backgrounds, is that our grandparents or parents moved from their home country, came to a new country, and finding community was imperative for survival. For a lot of us born in these new Western countries, we've obviously adopted some of the practices of these Western cultures rather than our own cultures. Unfortunately though, if we're being honest, whilst there is a rise in aspirational content of living alone, there's also been a rise of loneliness too. Now, we all know that being alone doesn't mean you're lonely, but due to the fact that over the last 50 years, marriage rates in the UK have dropped by 60%, so more and more of us have delayed starting a family due to the fact of not being able to find a suitable partner. And then there's also the cut-off culture, and I want to do a video on this maybe. I do feel like in society today, we glorify cutting people off, cutting friends off, cutting family off for our mental well-being and stability. Whilst I feel that can be a positive thing, I've definitely cut some people off. I'll be quick with the scissors, I'm not gonna lie. I do think it's interesting that that is glorified more than actually advice on how to build and sustain relationships. So this cutting off culture that we have, I believe, has added to some of the loneliness we're seeing in our younger generations. Being forced to work more than 40 hours a week. How many times have you been invited out somewhere and you've had to decline just because you're either working or you're simply too tired from working? This constant nature of keeping us on the hamster wheel generating and earning money to be able to afford the places to live alone, also has an impact on how we socialize and build relationships. And all in all, it seems that we've discentered community for individualism. Now, studies have found that strong community ties lead to better mental health and overall a higher life satisfaction. There's an Eastern concept called ikigai. Ikigai? Ikigai or ikigai? Hey Siri, how do you pronounce ikigai?
Okay, I found this on the web for how do you pronounce issy. Check it out.
What? You are no help, girl. I'm going to say ikigai, I might be getting it wrong, sorry. It was popularised in the West when writers Hector Garcia and, now let me see if I can pronounce this, Francesc.
What you
Let me find out if someone else can pronounce this. Hold on. Girl, no one else can pronounce it. Sorry, my guy. I write it down. I can't pronounce the name. I'm so sorry. I need to learn Spanish. But yes, it was popularised when both of those writers visited Okinawa in Japan to learn about the inhabitants there and why so many of them lived to over 100 years old. The book is a really great read, so I definitely recommend it. And if you have teenagers, they also have a teenage version, so get that for the kids so they can have a head start. But yes, a distinguishing feature that I really took from the book and the community of elders there was the strong social links that they have and how much they valued being a part of the community and being in contact with both people their age and younger people. The book highlights that the community, particularly the elders, would frequently get together and have karaoke nights, do birthday parties, and just other general social events. Like, I also noted that the older people in the communities would continue to work well up into their 70s and 80s, and this wasn't like heavy, stressful manual labour. It would be work they found joyful, so whether it was gardening and babysitting some of the kids in the community, doing things that were really of value for the people that they lived with. This highlighted that being and remaining a part of the social infrastructure within their communities, remaining active and avoiding social isolation had a huge impact on their desire to want to continue living. Being a part of something beyond ourselves can give us a greater sense of purpose. And for me, it's not about choosing to live alone or be a part of a community. It's more about how can we find a balance between the two. As a generation, we're cultivating new realities. And because of this, it would be great for us to find new ways to build community. Social media was originally created for us to build connections digitally with people. And sometimes those digital communities are life-saving for people. However, over the last few years, with the rise of influencer and content creator culture, social media has shifted to being a space where we are less building community, but more so viewing and living vicariously through those who we admire. My hope for us all is that whether we live with our parents, with flatmates, with friends, with siblings, with partners, or by ourselves, that we can go back to using social media to build real community and have real conversations, and also being more confident outside of social media to go and speak to our neighbours, to volunteer and build community through helping other people, to find time to have a hobby and build relationships with people who have the same interests as you in the real world. We often put a big focus on networking when it comes to our careers and elevating and going back to that capitalistic lifestyle. But hopefully we can start to do this more and more outside of the careers element and just for personal preservation. I've actually been seeing something quite often that I think I'm going to do, particularly when I find my location where I want to move to. But I've seen these like amazing dinner clubs where you sign up online, you write down your interests, and basically you go to this dinner with random people. They put you on a table with those who might have similar interests to you, and you just have a dinner for the night with people that you've never met before. So doing more things like that, finding those more communities on social media where you can take it from digital to real life would be amazing. And join Always Daydreaming. We're launching a journaling club, so come over and join us. And that would be a digital space where we can build community and help each other build our dreams and raise our vibrations. For those who are feeling a bit lonely, please don't be afraid to reach out to your local community. Just have general conversations. You'll be surprised how many other people are feeling the same way, and would very much welcome a hello, a small conversation. Put yourself out there a little bit to see if you can build relationships if you are feeling a bit lonely. It can be daunting, but a lot of the time you'll find people are very receptive of those who want to talk because we crave it. And for those of you who are on the journey of living alone and trying to find your peace and solitude in your own space, I wish you the best of luck. It's written in the stars for you. Keep going, it will happen. And yeah, I just hope everyone is able to live in a way with or without people that feels right for them. So please let me know your thoughts on the rise of independence and the death of community in the comments below. Don't forget to disconnect to reconnect at some point today. What I mean by that is put down the phone, reconnect with yourself, and remember that you're loved. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye. From Cozy Studio Apartment to Sleep City Loft. Okay. My tongue is too big for my mouth. General individual. This is hard to say. Get this right.